Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Dwayne Anderson. Experts say the Iran war escalation is putting upward pressure on oil prices. Brent Crude, the international benchmark, rose nearly 4% to $79 a barrel. Prices rose after the United States of America resumed airstrikes on Iran, and Tehran responded with its own attacks against Gulf countries that house U.S. military facilities. Now, gas prices also rose today. On Sunday, AAA reports the average price for gas was $3.87 a gallon. That's a 30% increase since the United States and Israel first attacked Iran last February. But this price is significantly down from the high of $4.56 a gallon reached on Memorial Day, improving regional travel. Oh, that's another story. Let me tell you about that one, because improving regional travel, that is one of the items at the top of the agenda for Martinique. The country, a department of France, recently took its seat for the first time in CARICOM. Now, our reporter Romada Lyons is in Martinique and filed this report.
23 members of CARICOM, 15 full member states, 8 associate members. This country is the first French overseas department to join the list. Martinique is now an associate member of the Caribbean community, CARICOM. It's been years in the making, and immediately, one of the hopes of this integration is easier, more convenient travel in the region.
Wow, this is a big challenge for all of us. I do think that we have to improve on the Caribbean connectivity. I think it's an issue for Martinique, but it's an issue for all the islands.
That's Hervé Below, director of the Martinique Tourism Board. On paper, neighbors. But when it comes to flights, trips, and vacations for Caribbean nationals in the Caribbean, it's almost as though the islands are long-lost cousins. Mr. Below says that lack of connection is not just inconvenience where time is concerned. It usually means people have to fork out more money just to travel.
Cuba is probably one of the worst case examples. They might have to go to Panama, then from Panama go to Miami, then from Miami to Martinique. It's not far. There shouldn't be so many transit and stops to go to Martinique. Someone in Jamaica would have to go to Miami or maybe to St. Lucia to go to Martinique. I do think there must be a solution between airplanes and boats to create a network throughout the Caribbean. It must be a priority for sure.
The issue has long left boardrooms and is not just a talking point among officials. People right across the region have been feeling the impact. Jamaican photographer Steve James, for example, recently traveled from St. Lucia to Martinique. This is how it went.
Miami to St. Lucia to Martinique. So I landed in St. Lucia, I think it was the south of the island, and then I took a boat over to Martinique. They say it's like 14 kilometers. It took me like an hour. I mean, Jamaica is fine and Cuba and those places, but the Eastern Caribbean is very challenging because when I wanted to come here on the day I wanted, they didn't have any flights.
And it's the same struggle for Noel Walker, who traveled to Martinique from New York.
I had to stop from New York in Miami, then to come here, and each flight was about 3 hours and change, when a direct flight could have been altogether just 4 hours and change. So my travel was around 7 hours.
Mr. Below says fixing this long-time struggle is a priority for the Martinique government, as it now has a foot in CARICOM discussions.
My dream, to be honest, would be that many of the governments and local authorities throughout all the islands get together and invest in one Caribbean airline that can help us connect. If we do that, I do think that it will help develop the whole of the Caribbean economically, culturally, on many other topics. So it's a priority as far as I'm concerned.
And outside of travel, he believes there are other areas in CARICOM in need of more regional collaboration.
You know, we are naturally in the Caribbean, so we should be interacting more with the other islands, whether it is St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad. So the fact that now we are of hope in terms of tourism, businesses, cultural exchanges, and many other topics that are important, even science and medical research.
Romada Lyons, TVJ News.
Thanks, Romado. The JSE index declined by 1,418 points today, while the junior market index declined by 26 points. Now, the winners include Productive Business Solutions US dollar ordinary shares, Consolidated Bakeries, Portland JSX, Sagicor Real Estate X Fund, and 138 Student Living. That's their Jamaica variable preference shares. Now the losers, they include G West Corporation, ordinary shares, Edufoca Limited, Knutsford Express Services, Derriman Trading Company, and General Accident Insurance Company. 26 stocks traded firm. At the end of foreign exchange trading, banks and cambios were selling the US dollar for an average $159.70. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $113.79. The pound is going for $213.96, while the euro is selling for an average $185.68. And that's the business news from overseas when we return.